Alright, let's continue with our job. So we are going to discuss about fixing styles and applying styles in the report. This is a little bit time consuming version and I'm trying to explain it as simple as possible, and that's why it will take a little bit of time. But the approach that we are going to use is to start from chapter 1 and continue reading, and whenever we hit something that needs a new style, we will modify the style related to it and apply it. So let's return to our report after applying page numbers. So we have several styles. The first one is chapters, then we have introduction, then we have main text. So for chapter, let's find a good suitable style. Okay, let me explain these styles. If I click on this, so you can see that it automatically changes the format of the space of the letter that is already selected. So it was already in heading 1, but for chapters we need something else. If you click on this bar, you can see different styles over here. So let's click on title. That's the perfect thing to consider. Let me rename it. Chapters. You can easily rename them and change them because it will only apply on this work, and when you open a new Word, it will be again as a default. And even in this work, you can set the styles as default as well. So no worry about that. Now, let's return to the guideline to see how we are supposed to write a chapter. Okay, this is chapter 1. The specifications are given, 16 points. This is the font size. It should be Times New Roman. Bold, double space, and centered after space, 24 points. I will do them one by one. So when we rename this style, we know that whenever we had a chapter, we have to click on this. So right click and select modify. This will pop up. Then we are supposed to go according to the guideline that we have. The fonts is Times New Roman, so I will type Times New, and when I press tab, it will automatically changes. Font size is 16. I will select this as 16, and it's bold. Let's make it bold. Double space. So for spacing, you can see the format button over here, and click on paragraph. This window will open, and you can see spacing in indents and spacing. So in spacing, instead of single, we'll select double. And as far as I remember, it's 24 after. So for after, we will increase it up to 24. If you don't have the number, just type it down, select it, and type 24 points. And click OK. It is centered, it's in the middle, as you can see. So select this one so that the chapter will go in the middle. And so far it's okay. Let's click on and see what will happen. Oh, the color is always black. Always try to select the black color. This is not important. Click OK. So this is chapter 1. One thing is missing, and if you see the guideline, you can see that it will start with a capital C and the rest of the letters are in lowercase. So over here we don't have that. It's all in uppercase. Either you can change it by rewriting it chapter 1. Well, I think that's the most efficient way to do it. just type chapter 1. Then after applying this style, we will continue monitoring what will happen later. Then we have introduction. This is our heading 1. This is very important. You have to select heading 1 in your style. Make sure that there is no empty line between your chapter and introduction. Since you already specified 24 double for the after space for your chapter, the distance between chapter and introduction will automatically be selected if you start your introduction, the title of the chapter, immediately after you press enter in the chapter. So when I press enter, I will go here. This is a new line, so I will press backspace. Again, I have a new line, backspace. And now, if I go to the next line using arrow keys, you can see that I immediately go to introduction. It means that this is the correct distance. For the title of the chapter, we are assuming that the title of the chapters are heading 1. So I'll go up and click on heading 1. This is a very messy format, so we have to create a correct one. There is something not mentioned in the thesis guideline, but you can find it in the table of content. As you can see, it's only introduction on all uppercase. So if I go up in the table of content, instead of introduction, you can see that this is one space and introduction. It means that instead of having a chapter 1 and then introduction, we immediately write the title of the chapter that we are working on, and it requires a number. How to deal with this, I will tell you in a second. First, let's correct the format. Let's go to this one to see the format. So it's header 1. As I said, we have to select header 1. 16 point, Times New Roman bold double space centered after space 48. It's not 24 again, so don't mix them up. So right click on this, click on modify. Then this is Times New Roman 16. That is correct. It's bold. The color is black always. We don't have any white color. It is in the middle. Now let's go to paragraph from here and correct the formatting. Make sure that this is 0. We don't have any before spacing, and after is supposed to be 48 and double. One more important things to consider: if you click on font, let me find it. Yes, in font tab, in effects, you have to select all caps. As you can see in the sample will immediately change to upper cases for all letter. Make sure that this one is selected, because sometimes students may use smaller. Oh, sorry, it's not bold. So let's check. Why isn't it bold? We already selected bold. Okay, maybe he was selecting it by hand, and this will happen. In that, later on, you can see that this is automatically will be corrected. So this stands from chapter 1 to introduction is correct, and from introduction to the main text is not correct, because it will finish up to here, but text will start here. Definitely, we have some lines over here, some inters, as you can see. We have to get rid of them. So backspace, and now you can see it's fixed. Since we want to have a table of content in the future, and we want to have one introduction, but we don't want it in our actual body page, we have to create some numbering formats. This is a very complicated part, but I will show you how you can manage it if you go step by step. The first thing is to select the correct numbering format, which is one chapter, one for chapter one, two for chapter two, and so on and so forth. And you can also correct the second and third headings as well in short. But since we want to have the one over here, please select from Home tab in Paragraph, please select this part, multi-level list. This is currently is none. Try to select this one, one dot, one dot, one dot, and so on and so forth. So I will select this one. This will automatically appear, but we don't need it right now. We will fix it in much more advanced way. So click again. After selecting this version, at the bottom you can see define new multi-variable, multi-level list. Click on this, and as you can see, there are a lot of stuff that you can do over here. Sometimes you will see it like this. If you click on more, this window will appear, and we actually need this window. So these are different levels. If I click on them, so for level 1 we have only 1 point something, and then level 2 1.1 something, 1.2 something, level 3, and up to here is enough for our report. We don't have any level 4 for the format of the EMU format. So let's just start with the 1. So level 1, since we need to have the introduction as level 1, so 1 introduction in our table of content, we will select heading 1, which is related to introduction. As you can see, it's selected for introduction to show that this is level 1. This is very important. Which level are you selecting? When you are having the table of content, the level that you will select shows that how much indentation you require to put it. I mean, let me explain it. Indentation means a space from the margin up to the first letter that will appear. How much indentation do you need to create this level? So I will click on level 1 because this is without indentation. If I return over here, you can see that one introduction, there is no indentation over here, but in level 2 we have like 3 spaces, I think, indentions, and in level 3 we have like 5 spaces. We will consider them later on when we are creating the table of content, but make sure that for heading 1, which is the title of the chapter, it's set as level 1. We definitely don't need any dots, as you can see on the table of contents in the guidelines. So just click on this, enter formatting for the number. Click on this and put one backspace so that you see only one over here. It should start at 1. That is correct. Now click on font. The font of the text does not need to be changed because it will automatically select it based on the style of the heading 1. But the things that we are going to change is the color of the dot. It's supposed to be white. Why? Because we don't want to see this one value in our introduction. So we will create a white one over here so that we don't see it over here, but actually it exists. So make sure that the color is set as white and click on OK. In case I'm going too fast, this is a video, so you can stop and rewatch some sections to see what happened. Don't worry about that. Then for the next step is to check on this one. Follow number with a tab character. We usually use a space. So make sure that you click on a space. You will see it in the level 2, what is the difference between them. And always put them as 0, these two. Aligned at and text indent at. So these two should be selected 0. Now you can see that this is the style. This is for our first level. Now let's go to the second level. Let me show you the guideline. So this is the second level heading, or for heading 2, as you can see, it's header 2. 1.1, we don't have any points over there, so let's return. This is 1.1. When we are going to apply it, this is a level 2 for reference, and in heading 2, we are going to apply this level 2 value. Now the font size should be black because we require to see this value over here and in the table of content as well. So this is 1.1, as you can see. Next. So this is heading 2, level 2, start at 1 again, restart list after level 1, and tab character, let's put a space. Make sure that these are 0 again. You can see the changes over here when I increase it. You can see that when you have a title which is longer than one line, the indentation will appear for your heading. But if I reduce it to 0, you can see that it will start exactly from the margin. This is the same. It will make some indentation to the first line. I will set it as 0. And the last level that we are going to look at is for level 3. The style that we are going to use is heading 3. We will get there in a moment. And this level is going to be level 3, the amount of indentation that we will have in the table of contents. Now let's see a level 3 over here. As you can see, there is no indentation in the actual text. So for the level 3, make sure that there is no dot after the value. Tab characteristic should be space. Restart list after level 2. So it means that when level 2 increases, the list of the last number will increase. You'll see it in the automatic version. And make sure that these are 0. That is correct. And then click on OK. Congratulations, we will have a perfect style for our numbering and we don't have any problem. But make sure that you are checking and double checking the numbers so that something is not wrong with your report. So this was introduction, so I will select heading 1. Now if you see over here, this appears as number 4 because we have some titles over there, but it will automatically be corrected after a while. So this value makes this introduction go a little bit to the right and it's not center anymore. To fix this gap, make sure that for each title, this button, the square one, the below one, go 2 points, 1, 2, to the left. Now it's exactly in the center. If there wasn't any number before, it would have been exactly in the center. But since we have the number, we have to go left by 2. Okay, heading 1 and chapter styles are complete. Let's take a look at the actual text. Let's see if we can find the guideline in the format. I think it was mentioned in the abstract. Format paragraph. Yes, this is for our paragraphs or the body text that we will have. Format paragraph spacing before 0 point and after 0 point. Double space. I will tell you right now, the font size is 12 and it's Times New Roman. I cannot find it for the body text, but if you see the guideline, not this sample one. If you see the guideline, you'll see that this is definitely 12 and the font is Times New Roman. So let's create a style for our body. It's already selected as normal, so let's continue with this one. First, we are going to rename it as body text. Okay. Now, right click and click on modify. The font should be Times New Roman. Size is going to be 12. It's not bold. The color is always black, so make sure that it's always black. It's from left to right. This one should be selected. Go to format and click on paragraph. So as you can see, the spacing is after 24 double. So I will select double. Make sure that this one is 0 and make this one 24. Click on OK. Don't worry about this type of messiness. I will correct them later. Now, this is the correct format for the body of the text. As you can see, this is 24 double after. Make sure that there is no indentation. Sometimes a student use spaces to do indentions in American style. After finishing a paragraph, we just have one line space between, and then we will continue starting from the beginning of the margin. If you put spaces, it means that you are mixing a British style with American style, which is wrong. Make sure there is no indentation anymore. So, as far as I understood, this is a beginnery report. The students definitely did not know how to write it, but I think this is the heading 2, or as we can see over here, header 2 of our text, which is 1.1. Now we are going to set that by clicking heading 2. Definitely it's not correct right now. Let's see what is the format. The font size should be 14, Times New Roman, bold, double space, and left. So right click, modify. This is Times New Roman. This is 14, bold, black. And for double spacing, click on format again, paragraph. And this is, for example, B4 is 2 points. So make this 0. We don't have any before spacing unless we have a table. I will explain it later. And make sure that this is, this is 0 double. Let me check. Yes, the distance is 0 double. You don't see any difference between distance of the heading 1 and the main text lines. So this is 0 double definitely. So make sure that this is 0 and this one is double. Click on OK and OK again. The same as before, the students use bold from here, so I have to rebold it again. Let me check that it's bold. Yes. So from now on, it will be selected completely. Again, the distance between text and heading 2 is supposed to be the same, similar. So we have extra line over here. If I click, you can see that it's going to be corrected automatically. I've got rid of the indentions applied by the student, and let's see if we can fit it in this page as well. Okay. Now, between two paragraphs, we have 24 double. But if you see over here, when we go from one paragraph, this is British style, sorry. When we go from one paragraph, this is 24 double, to another heading, it's going to be 0. This is very important. So you have to make sure that you check every part of your report for these type of errors. So after the text finish and immediately we start a new heading, this should be 0 double. How to fix it? From here, it's supposed to be 24 double because it's between two paragraphs. But over here, since we don't have any paragraph and one heading will start immediately, just select the last part of the text. In the paragraph box, click on this button. And over here, we will see the similar tab that we use in styles, but just make sure that this one is 0 point. And then click OK. Now this is correct. This is chapter 1 of this student with the correct format. So there are several inters which will make this empty spaces. I will return to chapter 2 like this. So each chapter we are supposed to start from a new page. How to do that? If you press enter several times, definitely you can go to another chapter, but that's not the correct way, because whenever you finish and you want to change the size of the font or changing the line or adding the line, this will get messy, and for example you will end up with something like this, one enter before chapter. We want to avoid that. How we can avoid this kind of errors? Just return to the beginning of the page right here. Immediately after the page is finished, press enter, and this is your chapter 2. To start from a new page, just press Ctrl and enter. In this way, if you add something here which increase the lines, let me show you an example. So I will just add a random text. Okay, it was finished over here. I just added some random text, and yet still chapter 2 didn't went down. It means that by pressing Ctrl and enter, you can fix the chapter so that there is no mistake. Let me get rid of this. Now, for chapter 2, again, since we already correct the format for chapters, you just have to find it over here and select it. So where was it? Let me find that. Yeah, chapters. This is the correct format. 24 double, everything is already set. Then immediately, let me put back a space so that the extra lines will disappear. Immediately we will have the title of the chapter, which is our heading number 1. So click on heading number 1. Everything is correct. You can see that the number is appearing over here. The only thing that we need to do is to adjust it by hand by 2 steps. Now, After finishing the heading, as I can see over here, the student missed a part which is in your logbook, the name of the company. So I will start with the heading 2, the name of the company. I should use capital C. And here's the name. He wanted to use bold, I don't know, but preferably I prefer just use this a small, a standard form. Then again, I have a heading 2, address of the company. So since the paragraph is finishing over here, it was a small paragraph, we should set this as 0, as I explained before. This is the address. I don't know why he finished over here. Maybe he was supposed to continue. And this is the home page. Again, we are hitting a new chapter, a new heading. So make this 0. Now, the student was trying to put the numbers manually. I will get rid of this, and as you can see, it's automatically correct. Don't don't concern about this 5 because we started from 4 here, and definitely there are some mistakes in the table of content and list of figure and list of tables above. When we are finishing by them, it will automatically be corrected. So this is actually counted as 5, so it's 5.1, 5.2. Now, to make sure that this is the correct color, let's re-click on it. Now, we have empty lines. So far, so good. Okay, he used a red line or red letter to show that SOMACA stands for this one. Doesn't need to be like this, so let me make it black. And it's not doesn't need to be bold. If you use capital letter, it means that they are stands for something. So that is correct. By the way, if you want to use indent, what do we call it? I forgot the word. If you want to shorten the long phrase, uh, you are supposed to write the phrase first for the first time only in the text. You don't need to repeat it again and again, only for the first time. Sorry, the word that I was looking for is abbreviation. If you want to abbreviate something, write the complete letter, and for the first time, write it in brackets. So that it means that from now on, instead of this long-term phrase, I will use somaka, I think, as an abbreviation. This is the correct way. And we will continue. There is definitely a line missing over here. I will take care of the tables later. Definitely it needs some improvement. It took like 3 pages. So 2.2 he meant, it means heading number 1, no, heading number 2. Then we have a level 3 or heading 3 over here. So how are we supposed to fix a level 3? Let's check here. Header 3, 12 point, Times New Roman, bold, double space, left. So let me get rid of this one. Let's modify this. This is Times New Roman. 12 is correct. It should be bold. The color is black, and paragraph is supposed to be 0. Make sure this one is 0 as well. 0 and double. And click on OK. Again, the student was trying to make it bold, but from now on, you will see that it will get better. By the way, there are some empty spaces over here when I am trying to correct the tables and figures, then I will come up with some space saving arrangement for the report. You can do it as well. It will save a lot of spaces and maybe it will cost less papers to be cut down, to be used. Figure and tables, I'm not considering them right now. Let's go down. Again, we have a level 3. Another one. And product of the company. Good. Okay, this he didn't explain anything about raw materials, I think. There was a missing section. Anyway, let's go to chapter 3. Again, to start a new chapter, make sure that you are pressing Control and Enter, so it will begin from a new section. Let me bring this up. Yeah, you can see if I press Control and Enter, it will start from here. Now I will select chapter for my format. This is the title of the chapter. I will select heading 1. This is heading 1. And make sure that you will bring this 2 to the left. There are some empty lines. Okay, I think he messed around a lot with this one, so let's correct it manually. Click on here, 48 double, that is correct. Why do we get? Yes, there was some letters which does have a mistake. Yes, that is correct. So let's bring this to the left. Okay, now we are in chapter 3, so let's get rid of the one that he wrote by hand. This is heading 2. This is heading 3. Heading 3. Yeah. I will not consider. So this is a body text. Let's click on it. Or you can select several to make it faster. And click on body text. You can see that it will automatically be corrected. Something very important. Okay, he does have some points to mention one by one. He wrote it on bold version. That is correct. However, instead of using the stars, he was supposed to use bullet points. Let's get rid of these stars. And it will actually save some space in your report. If I select all of them, is there anything else? No. By clicking over here, you will see some bullets. Let's select this one. And as soon as you select the bullet point, okay, this is not bold. This is 12. Make this 12. It will automatically do some indentions. It's auto-corrected, so we are going to make it much more standard. One more important thing to mention, when you are using bullet points, the space required between your paragraphs is going to be 0 double, not 24. So it means that you are going to save a lot of spaces. However, this indentation is wrong, so we have to shift this to the left up to here, or let me select all of them, because doing it one by one will take a lot of time. Yes, but the margin has already passed the bullet point, so it's out of margin. So let's bring this to the right. Now it's exactly on the margin. However, when you are using bullet points, as I said, you don't need to use 24 double, but for the last one, it's supposed to be 24 double. Let's assume that whenever you are using a bullet points, it means that it's a whole paragraph. So after that, it's supposed to be 24 double, the same as here. This is 0 double, this is 24 double. If I check here, yes, 24 double. He does have a figure. I'm not considering it right now. This is correct. No need to change. We have a heading 3. Let's change it. Okay, we are starting from heading 3. I will recheck the work again for these kind of errors, but it's supposed to be 0 double. Sometimes this will happen. So he has like 4 words in a line and it's done. I think he was done over here, or it was continuing. Yes. He doesn't have to add anything. He wants to finish, for example, with the dots. When this happens, it's when you are using Shift and Enter. If I press Enter and return up, you can see that it will go like this. Let me give you an example. For example, I am a student. I will press Enter. Again, I will write I am a student. Then I press Shift and Enter. You will see that it's distorted. However, the distance between the line and the next one is 0 double. I am a student. So the distances are the same, but it's distorted because you are using justify. By the way, let me tell you, if you, in your case, you don't have your text justified, it's unjustified. Let me show you the difference. Let me get rid of this. As you can see in this text, they all finish in the same line at the end, and the difference is this between the spaces between each word. So in order to have this, we have to justify the text. If I unjustify this, you will see that they will not finish at the end, but the spaces between letters are the same. So we are using justify format according to guideline. As you can see, these are justified. And how to apply it in the style of the body, it's already activated in mine, but maybe for your version of the Word, it's not activated. In order to activate, make it active, click on font. Let me see if I can find it quickly. Either it's in font or in paragraph. Let me check paragraph. Okay, I will mention it in the next part of the video because I have to find it and it will take a lot of time to find the justification in a style. But if you don't have it, you can just easily click on here to justify and unjustify. I will explain it in the next section. So let's continue with the styling. Definitely this is unnecessary, so let's delete it. Let's go up. There are some empty spaces which I will take care of it for figures and tables. This is written by hand, and this is a heading 2. Let's click to make it correct. So we are done with chapter 3. We are, by the way, this will take a little bit longer, but this is the longest part of this video because we won't be able to continue without going through details of the part. So if you had chapter 4, control and enter will immediately start it from the beginning of the next page. Find the correct style. This is chapter 4. This is heading 1. So this is heading 1. There is a line in between. Get rid of that. And 2 to the left. This is 48. The rest are extra. 38. This is heading 2. Again, for example, the student was writing some short sentences in each paragraph. I think it's better to find a way to use bullet points. As I can see, UET 5, UET 4, UET 3, 2. So let's press enter over here and use bullet points for these. Adjust it. Yeah, perfect. 24 double, 0 double, 24 double. For more details, this flowchart explain it. One thing that I wanted to mention, each figure has its own number and its own title. So it's better to write something better in this sentence. For more details, this flowchart explain it. Let's replace it. For more details, refer to figure 8. This is a better way of expressing a figure. Okay, this is body text. Again, body text. There are some extra lines. Okay. As I told you, he was using indentions, so we should take care of these. Extra line. Heading 2. These are text. So body text. And again, I'm repeating a step over and over for you to understand how to do the format corrections correctly. Don't think that's okay, it will take a lot of time. Let's go to the next part. I'm trying to practice it for you so that you will understand what happens. By the way, this was a very hard report to correct. I was going to show you the worst case scenario so that your report will be in the correct format perfectly. Now we are in chapter 5. Definitely he pressed enter, control and enter, so I don't need to take care of it, but let's put backspace. Nope, he didn't use it. Okay, so click on here, control, enter. I think I pressed twice. Yeah. So let's put backspace so that it will go up here. Okay. Chapter. Let's find it. Chapters. This is heading 1. 2 to the left. And yeah, let's get rid of this. And heading 2. No indentation. So far, so good. This is not doubled, so let's click to make sure that, yeah. And also, this is not justified. Sometimes you have to do them not automatically, but with hand. No indentation. Oops. So one of the mistakes, the workers is started from the new line. So let's put backspace and one space to make this one paragraph. Again, chapter 6. Chapters. Heading 1. Still. Yes. Now 2 to the left. Space. Yes. No indentation. Redo. I just put one extra backspace. That's what happened. So 7 dash conclusion is not correct. Again, you have to write chapter not with the caps lock. Let's write it down and then we. Oh, the format is in heading 1. That's why. So if I change it to chapter, it will be corrected automatically. Chapter 7. So this is heading 1. It will be chapters. Good. Yes. Now 2 to the left. And get rid of extra lines and indentation. References. Let me make sure that are we supposed to put 8 reference by checking table of content? No, we don't need to put any number before references, so this can be easily, this is references by the way, not reference list. Just select heading 1 and get rid of this value by using backspace. Yeah, that's it. And I think we have a line over here. Let me make sure that it won't start from a new line. Control and enter. Also, I think for references we are supposed to use 24 double. Yes, 24 double for references. So change this by hand. I will not go to details for the reference styles. We are supposed to use APA styles. I will go to the details in next section. Let me. Okay, these are hyperlinks. So just how Okay, let's not consider reference. And then we have appendix, which I will explain later. So far the style has been changed and everything has been set to this work. Let's cross them. Now we are going to check the figures, tables, and maybe I will do the referencing at the end. First, I want to do figures and tables.